Hello everyone, welcome to Project Veritas Wall of Shame. One retracto, everyone knows the rules. Today's retracto goes to Benjamin Dinh. Benjamin Dinh, breaking news intern at Politico. This is the second breaking news intern that we've had. The first one, Arya Hajat, breaking news intern at the Daily Beast, who lost his job shortly thereafter, lying about us. This retracto goes to this breaking news intern from Politico, forced to issue a huge retracto. Cue the retracto theme song. So in this Politico article, retraction by breaking news intern, I don't know why there's all these I never even heard of a breaking news intern before this. Anyway, Benjamin Dinh, breaking news intern, Politico, wrote before, quote, Project Veritas, conservative activist organization that has been known to use deceptive practices and spread misinformation in attempts to expose what it views as, quote, corruption. I'd put corruption in quotes there. Corruption, dishonesty from liberal organizations. The Politico article has been updated. It was updated with an editor's note that reads, quote, the description of Project Veritas has been revised, including to reflect that the organization has not exclusively targeted liberal organizations and individuals. Politico was forced to delete that we're, quote, conservative activists. By the way, I've never in my life, ever, anywhere, and I've said a lot of things, referred to myself as a, quote, conservative activist. Not once. So he was forced to delete that. They deleted that we, quote, spread misinformation, and they had said from liberal organizations. Now they include principally from liberal organizations. I find it interesting they call media organizations liberal. Isn't there sort of an admission there when they say we investigate the New York Times in liberal organizations? So Politico apparently thought or thinks that those organizations are, quote, liberal. So let's digress and determine why and how this Politico reporter was forced to print a correction. Lord knows they don't do the right thing. Just because they want to do the right thing, they usually respond to pressure from attorneys. But first, before we get to the attorneys, I had tweeted out on April 14th, quote, hey, Benjamin, breaking news intern, ever been deposed? Now, the reason I said this is because they've seen our depositions, like in the Lauren Windsor case, when she was forced to say that she did in fact doctor the thing after she said that she didn't doctor the thing.
Well, I disagree with your characterization of my actions.
Which part?
That I edited anything out.
Oh, okay. So what did you do that these parts didn't make the video?
Well, so it's called editing.
So they've seen the depositions. So I say, quote, by all means, keep this defamatory material up rather than retract it like you know you should. I'll gladly introduce you to my lawyers at your deposition and teach you what malice means. Go ahead. Make my day.
Go ahead. Make my day.
By the way, I'm reading you the tweet because, Twitter banned me, so we have it in perpetuity, at least printed out. So we tweet this out, and nothing happens, so we send a letter the next day, April 15th, to Benjamin Dinh, breaking news intern. We CC Robert and Matthew Kaminsky, editor-in-chief. You can see their pictures there. It's important that we tell you who these people are and show you what they look like. These are the people that manufacture consent, to quote Noam Chomsky, a great book from 1987 about the manufacturing of consent and spreading, basically projecting onto us and spreading misinformation. They accuse us of doing that. That's what they're doing here. So we send a letter to the intern. I'm not sure if Benjamin Dinh ever got a legal letter like this before. It must be an extraordinary thing for him to get a letter from Project Veritas, knowing that we've won every single lawsuit we've litigated, including most recently against the New York Times on motion to dismiss. More on that in a minute. And in this legal letter to Benjamin Dinh, one of our lawyers writes, as of this writing, your defamatory article remains published online. Big mistake. We also write, quote, you cannot provide any proven evidence to support your statement that we, quote, spread misinformation. Seriously, can anybody name anything? Can anyone name one thing in the last 10 years that we've done to spread disinformation? And if your only argument is like 11 years ago, I wore a pimp costume in a trailer You got to do better than that. Just name one. Just name a single thing that we or I have done in a decade to, quote, spread disinformation. Okay, I guess you can't name anything. So we wrote that in the letter, and then we point out all of the Republicans that we've exposed, because there's been a lot. We did the story on, because remember, Politico wrote, we exposed corruption from liberal organizations. So this whole legal letter is chock filled with examples of Republicans we've exposed. And history is replete with Project Veritas exposing Republicans. Let me name them for you, some of the bigger ones. The president of the Wisconsin State Senate resigned in disgrace after we went undercover in a bar in Milwaukee and recorded him talking about setting up an illegal political action committee. There's the recording. Oh yeah, he was forced to resign. He even wrote a letter about it. That was Mike Ellis. Also, the Republican Attorney General of New Hampshire, a guy named McDonald, was forced to issue reforms in his office after we exposed that some guy voted twice and he sat on it for a year without prosecuting. He was forced to tell me, James, we got to do better. Gordon McDonald is a Republican. Oh, we also did a story on Raquel Rodriguez. That was the woman who said that she would not look good in stripes because she's breaking the law by working with people like, according to her, Garza, a congressional candidate in San Antonio. He's a Republican. I even confronted this Republican at a Republican event in the street, and he ran away from me, and his staffer wanted me to give her a ride because he got into his RV and drove away. It was really funny. It's one of my favorite moments ever. So you selectively edited all this out of your article. You doctored this out. You did the thing you accuse me of doing. You projected onto me what you are and who you are and what you do. And now you've been forced to retract it. You'll notice in the letter we said malice. We talked about the idea of malice. Now, mind you, we have won on motion to dismiss against the New York Times for defamation. We will prove malice in that case. This is what Project Veritas does. We take you all the way to jury verdict, and that's why these people are forced to tell the truth, because they're apparently only willing to tell the truth when they're under oath. And we will prove malice, because Mr. Dean Baquet doesn't like me very much, and he's not afraid to show his malice. He drips with malice, like when he was characterizing me as despicable.
I have a lot of thoughts about this. For those of you who saw it, it was an undercover operation in which James O'Keefe, who I think is a despicable person who runs a despicable operation.
Or when Mr. Baquet laughs like a hyena.
Citing Wikipedia. Yes. I think it's funny too. See?
These people seem to be under some type of cognitive dissonance or mass psychosis, such that they'll say the opposite of what is real. And these are journalists. I would trust anybody to do journalism more than these people, like Dean Baquet and Benjamin Dinh, breaking news intern. And one more thing, after this lie was published, we had other organizations linked to and cite this lie about us spreading misinformation. We had Business Insider, we had Axios, Rebecca Falconer at Axios. This reporter, Business Insider, linking the group has been spreading disinformation. After this Politico article, at the time of this filming, these other publications have not yet corrected. This is the propaganda vortex. This is the Penrose stairs. You print the lie, you're forced to retract, but the other lies that were citing the lie are still online. And before you know it, they get on Wikipedia, they get cited over there, they get cited over here. Facebook bans the video because the New York Times has misinformation. But not until Project Veritas holds you accountable, because we're setting up a People's Defamation Defense Fund, because that's the only thing you apparently respond to. But instead, now you get the alpaca treatment. We get a lot of people sending us new alpacas, by the way. And you get a retraction on the wall of shame. And all of this could have been avoided if you just did your job. You shouldn't project onto me what you are, because it's gonna end up hurting you. I'm sure that this breaking news intern got a little bit of a spanking, corporately speaking, from his superiors. Hopefully, you never make this mistake again.